Hi there, I'm Mikkel Frost, one of 3 partners in the architectural office CEBRA. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the material Troldtekt. Looks like this. And we've used it a lot in the office, and I'll just, give you a brief introduction to it. But before I do that, I want to just take a short detour and talk about the fact that most architects and designers, they want to create something new, something that's never been seen before. But in order to do that, you have to know your tradition, basically. Otherwise, you don't know if it's new at all. I usually talk about musicians. It's impossible to imagine a composer writing a piece of music without ever having heard a record. And it's the same with architecture. You have to know at least certain things about history and tradition. And in our last book, the CEBRA Files 2, this one, we wrote an article about bricks, which is probably the oldest material in history. And in this article, we describe a really nice Swiss office called Gramazio und Kohler. And they reprogrammed a car robot to become a bricklaying robot. And they just create amazing brickwork that's just, completely morphing and completely curved and really precise. And it's a wonderful example of taking probably the oldest building material of all times and then just combining it with modern technology. And by doing so, you invent something that's both really old and really new. It's kind of renewing bricklaying. And that's the point with the Troldtekt Award. If you look at the material, it's not as old as bricks, but it's, I think, some 80 or 100 years old. It's a really simple material. You create some wood fibers, and you mix that with a very thin mixture of concrete, and you put it in a mold, and there you have it. Very simple material. You can work with it easily. You can cut it with a saw. It's completely organic. It's not toxic at all. You can just you can throw the bits and parts you have for leftovers, you can just throw them out. Doesn't matter at all. And it has really nice qualities for fire protection and for acoustics as well. And I kind of like the looks of it. We used it a lot in our office, in many of the projects that we did, I think. Actually in that one. And we want you to kind of reinvent the material. We want you to surprise us with creative and obviously also realistic ideas to how we can renew this material. How can we, deal with it in a more interesting way than we usually do? Because most of the time we just sort of suspend it from the ceiling. But I can imagine hundreds of things we can do with it. I'm not a student, so I'm not going to participate in the competition. I'll be in the jury. But I think there are so many things we could do with this material that we haven't yet done. So the point is, you shouldn't necessarily, you could make a robot for Troldtekt if you want, but we don't expect that at all. But we want you to surprise us with new and inventive ideas and stuff we can actually sort of go out there and build. And you shouldn't restrict yourself to this color. You can use various colors. I think I have this catalog here with a number of colors. From black to gray, you can imagine reds, yellows, whatever. You can actually print a picture on it. You can use it in different thicknesses, and you can actually shape it if you want to. So there's lots of possibilities. Basically, it works a bit like concrete in the sense that you mold it. So I'm very excited about this. I kind of like the idea that you take an old trusted friend, like Troldtekt, an old material, and you use it in a new way. And I think somehow it's very appealing compared to taking a new material. You don't know the new material, you don't know how it ages, you don't know how it reacts to fire, you don't know how it reacts to water, you don't know anything about it. Troldtekt you know everything about, so if you could take that and just do something really new and interesting about it, and that's the whole point. I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with. So good luck.